Well, hello and welcome to Soap Secrets. We are going to be talking Holby and Casualty today, and joining me is Claire Ruck. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Hannah.
Okay, so it's the week we've all been waiting for, isn't it?
It is. I'm so excited. And you know what? Victoria should be here talking about this, but she's on holiday in the Lake District.
It's all right for some, Claire. It's all right for some.
It is, isn't it? Davood Ghadami joins as Darwin clinical lead Eli Ibrahimi, and does he join in style? So fans will remember Davood as Kush from EastEnders.
Yes.
Isn't that exciting? And actually, you know what? He didn't leave EastEnders that long ago. It was sort of February time, February-March time.
Turnaround, isn't it, that one?
Yeah. Yes, it is for him. And his new character, Eli, is absolutely nothing like Kush, absolutely nothing. So we start the episode with a new management team marching into the hospital. I mean, really marching into the hospital. And it's been brought in to save Holby from fiscal collapse. And there's a new NHS improvement director. I love this about Holby. I didn't even know the NHS had improvement directors.
That's where our money goes.
And Eli, played by Davood, is one of their key team members. And he really means business. So I was quite shocked about how much he means business. And he walks onto Darwin and he calls the staff around and he does this, I thought was a really mean thing, Hannah. He says to the staff, could the locum please step forward, who's been running Darwin while we waited for a replacement. And the locum steps forward with a big smile on his face, about to shake his hand. And he says, all right, you're fired. But the good news is we will pay you to the end of the week. And I just thought, oh, what? This poor man's been working his socks off and you just treat him like that. So we know.
Does he have no understanding of employment law?
No, I did think that.
This is no Kush, though, is it? Crikey.
No, I did think that. This is a man who's on a mission, and he's running a trial out of Holby for people with heart issues, and I'm guessing there might be some money tied up in that. I'm not over sure, but I wondered whether this was a way of bringing money into the hospital to help improve its finances if you're doing this trial with drugs and new techniques.
Of course, we know that Holby is, coming sadly to an end. And so is this the start of the sowing the seed that this isn't a sort of a hospital that's viable, I suppose?
Yes, I did think that. That's a good point. I did think maybe come March they're going to shut it down because the money's run out.
Well, I don't. You don't hear of that happening. Often you hear of A&Es shutting down, don't you? Or certain departments. You don't hear of whole hospitals. But perhaps this is the first seed being sown.
Yes, it might well be. But then the only problem with that is, Hannah, is that Casualty is still going on, and that's the emergency department in Holby.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Okay, so I failed that GCSE. The soap GCSE has been failed. And we've got a new AAU nurse, haven't we?
Yes, Madge Britton, and she's no nonsense and old school, and I really liked her. I got a feeling, that as a character we weren't meant to like her, but I did have a quick chat with Victoria before she went on holiday, and she and I both said we really liked Madge. And when a patient inappropriately touches Kylie, she's all over him. This patient's come off his bike and he's got a dislocated shoulder, and he inappropriately touches Kylie. We really. It's a really nasty thing to do. And she puts his shoulder back none too gently, shall we say. So he got his comeuppance.
I like her already.
Yes. And Dom's mum, Carol, we see Dom and his mum this week. It's really sad. She's really not doing very well at all. She has vascular dementia. And there's a really sweet scene. John goes to the cafe and he gets her a pot of tea and a scone with jam because he knows that she'd been talking about this, and he brings it up to her. And Dom sits chatting with her, and he becomes aware of just how bad things are. There's a really touching scene, Hannah. She's holding a crossword book, one like you would buy in any supermarket or newsagent. It's just a small one. And she said, somebody bought me this crossword book and I've done one. Would you like to do one with me? And Dom smiles and said, yes, Mum, I bought you that. And then when he looks through the book, she actually hasn't done a crossword.
Do you know what? This will resonate with so many people because, you know, we all know somebody who's struggling with this disease or somebody who's caring for somebody with this disease, I think. It's so sort of prolific and, it will resonate with a lot of people and the way it affects the people around them.
Yes, completely. And one last thing, Hannah. I was quite shocked at this. There's a heart operation scene. So if you're a bit squeamish, when they start operating, you might want to shut your eyes.
Don't tell me. I might faint on the spot, Claire. Can't deal with it. No, I'm very bad. I fainted once before. I had like 10 stitches across my face. I cannot look at blood. I'm absolute wimp. I have to turn away all the time. Moving on to Casualty. This really is an episode not to be missed, isn't it?
Yes, completely. So if you ask me where I'd put this episode in terms of wow factor, it comes a second. It does come a second to the returning one in January. Do you remember that one?
I do. Amazing.
That was, I felt physically drained when I watched that one, and it's still my favourite Casualty episode. We saw how the ED coped with the pandemic at its height and how we lost receptionist Noel, and that one, it just blew me away. This one comes a close second. So what's it all about, Hannah? So I have been flagging, I don't know whether you picked this up over the past couple of weeks, that Tina is not all that she seems.
I did, my flag was up.
And so we've been seeing things about her that just aren't quite right or quite nice, I think. And so this is a two-hander between Jacob and Tina. Jacob, played by Charles Venn, and Tina by Adele James. It's not just those two characters. There are other characters around them, but they interact with them as the drama is going on. So the focus is primarily on them, and we see Jacob, a tough, confident, capable Jacob, as a victim of domestic abuse and of Tina's manipulations. It's really quite shocking.
Wow.
So it is, isn't it? So this is quite topical because, you know, we don't really talk too much about male domestic abuse. And if you looked at Jacob, he's not, there is no typical male abuse victim, but people might not think it would be Jacob because he is, as I've just said, he's confident, he's tough, he's fit. He runs a massively busy casualty department. So here it all is. And the ending is shocking. It's absolutely shocking. So I wouldn't miss it.
Wow, gosh, it's all going on. That, you're right. That one back in February was in January, was absolutely incredible. So if you're saying this is second to that, then I need to put everything else down and just watch this.
Yes.
We've got a chat, haven't we, with Charles Venn about the storyline too.
We do. We've got a 5-minute chat with him, and I've listened to it already. And he talks about it, and it's really interesting. It's really nice that he's really proud of the work him and Adele have done over this. You know what, though, it's a really, again, another important storyline to tackle because, like you say, you know, it's a big thing, and it's often overlooked, I think. And here is What's on TV's Casualty correspondent, Elaine Riley, chatting to Charles Venn, who plays Jacob Masters, about this amazing two-handed episode.
Hi, I'm Elaine Riley, and I am What's on TV's Casualty correspondent. And today I'm joined by Charles Venn, better known as Jacob Masters in Casualty. And we've just watched a preview of a very sinister and disturbing episode of Casualty involving Jacob and Tina. Hi, we're joined here today by Charles Venn. Hi, Charles. Welcome to the
Right?
Yeah, pretty good. Except we've just seen your episode of Casualty where things kick off, and we're wondering, what can you tell us about this new development in Jacob's life with Tina?
Well, episode 22 catches up with Jacob and Tina at this point where they're quite entrenched in their relationship, and it's intensifying. Tina's becoming a lot more, she's becoming a lot more demanding, a lot more intense, and it's becoming challenging. And Jacob is at a point now whereby he doesn't necessarily want to exacerbate some of these little minor bickerings and arguments they're having, but he's finding it difficult. And he has to make decisions as to whether or not he continues to create confrontation between them or on the fence of it. This is where he's at. But unfortunately, because Jacob is, for the most part, choosing to be, choosing to take the passive approach with some of these issues, it's actually strengthening Tina's resolve and her position within this relationship. And as a result, Jacob is sort of rendered questioning. He's questioning himself and really now wondering what's happening. He's becoming mentally fatigued by what's happening, but at the same time, strong feelings for this woman. So this is where we're at. And the question is whether or not Jacob can continue to cope with it, or does he walk from it?
Tina, I think it's fair to say, is a very slippery and downright sinister character. Charles, please, this is the point where we need you to tell us that Adele James, who plays her to great effect, is completely different to her on-screen alter ego. Adele is a very wonderful, sweet, arduous, devoted actress. She's, very generous actress, very accommodating, and it was a pleasure to work with her. Wonderful actress. She brought an incredible dimension to Tina, and I think a lot of people are going to be very, very impressed with what Adele has done with the portrayal of Tina. Most definitely, it'll be the perception on Tina will be very skewed by the end of this whole story. I bet. Because of the way it's told. Because of the way that was told her story. Yeah, it's going to be a very mixed feeling people are going to have towards her. Fans and I'm sure other Casualty characters, because it's very shocking, the storyline. It's very secretive. Yeah, very, very much so. Tina being such a very, very skilled, adept at coercive big control. She starts to ostracize. She starts to separate Jacob, isolate him from his friends. And in so doing, all of the mental manipulation and whatnot, all take place behind closed doors. A bit like, a vampire who has to hold, they grab their host, and the host is usually exploited in private, one-on-one. You know what I mean? Yes. And they suck and drain the life out of them. Yeah, in many ways, Tina kind of does that. She drains the general essence and spirit of who Jacob is. She does that behind closed doors, making sure no prying eyes are meddling with her machinations and her intentions. Per Jacob. So this story's going to run then for quite a while. We know the Casualty 35th anniversary is coming up soon. Is this something, are there plans in the works to celebrate it? Yeah, absolutely. As always, we're always celebrating each, anniversary year of Casualty's existence. And a BAFTA-winning year as well, which is amazing. Congratulations. Beautiful. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Honestly, we're so chuffed to have won 2 BAFTAs in 4 years. Wow. Yeah. People forget that. We won one. I believe it was 2017. I think it was. Yeah, 2017. Yeah, it's pretty sure. Even 2017, 2018. That's right. Yeah. We got it definitely. Oh yeah, it's a celebratory. It's a celebratory period right now for us. It still hasn't entirely sunk in that we won it. So soon after winning the previous one. So yeah, definitely. Be sure it will be a great. I can assure you, episode 1 and 2 of the new season. It's a special one for sure. We cannot wait. Not after the last big one. Oh my word. I know it's a very different filming situation at the minute, but yeah, that was quite...
It'd be great for all Casualty viewers. They'll definitely be licking their chops with this one, I can assure you.
Brilliant. Love it. Thank you so much for joining us, Charles. That was Charles Venn, everyone. Plays Jacob Masters in Casualty. A lot is happening in the very near future. And we hope to talk to Charles again soon.
And that's it for Holby and Casualty, but they are great episodes. You absolutely must watch if you do nothing else this week. We will be back next week.